Let me just say that I'm so thrilled to have this chance to meet you. So welcome to Germany, welcome to Berlin. I'm so happy you're here. I'm a fertility consultant, biologist, stem cell biologist. I believe to know quite a bit about regeneration until I found your podcasts. So Barbara, as many people know, is a world-famous health educator, naturopathic doctor. We all have something to learn from her. So I would have 1,000 questions to ask you, but I will stay with fertility. And I would like to ask you, what do you think that a young woman should do if she's trying to get pregnant and that doesn't work for a while, for several months? So what are the first things that come to your mind?
Well, probably first of all, I'd have a look at her lifestyle, her diet, what she's drinking, what she's eating. Is she getting enough sleep? Is she close to that computer? Because unfortunately, when a woman's at a computer, her breasts are right there. Oh. Her thyroid is right there, and this is all part of her endocrine system. The good news is there are devices that you can put in your home and even wear on your body. I wear a pendant that's got malachite and copper thread in it that is reported to protect me from the electromagnetic field as I go through the airport. So just an illustration that there are devices that you can investigate to protect, because it's called the silent killer. All that is having an effect. Also, laptop on the lap, that's having an effect on women's uteruses, their ovaries, so be cautious of that one. In fact, the worst place to put your laptop is on your lap. Okay. So having it a little bit away, and ladies, please, no phones in the sports bra, up in this area. So be very careful of breasts, of uterus exposure to the electromagnetic field. Make sure you're well hydrated. Keep away from the stimulants. Start exercising. But we've got a lot of young women today who are struggling with fertility.
A lot.
And one of the reasons is that their mothers were on the pill.
Oh, is that how you see it? So pill, consequences of pill, this huge infertility epidemic.
It is huge, because how the pill works, synthetic hormones come in that disrupt the pathway. So the body actually thinks it's pregnant, so it doesn't release the egg. So the woman doesn't fall pregnant. But what they don't realise is if she doesn't release the egg, then corpus luteum's not made. And corpus luteum is a little blister on the ovary that develops after the release of the egg, and it's the main producer of progesterone. And progesterone is a very important hormone, even called mother hormone, because progesterone balances estrogen and testosterone levels. So the pill's putting synthetic estrogen in, estrogen's going up, no corpus luteum, progesterone's going down, and we've sadly got a problem to comment today, which is estrogen dominance and progesterone deficiency. But the good news is there are herbs.
Beautiful. Which ones?
And I love the Psalm 104 verse 14, that says God gave herbs for the service of man.
I love how you cite Bible. I love it.
So you see, the herbs are there to work with, serve our body. And Dr. John Lee, he was probably the first doctor that blew the whistle on this hormonal imbalance.
You're talking about his famous book, What Your Doctor Didn't Tell You About Menopause, or some. I love
And
that.
what he shows is that when you apply the cream to the skin, the fat cells take it up, and you can access more of the active components than if you eat it.
Is that, or if you apply vaginally, like most doctors actually do?
So he says 400% more via the skin than by mouth. And we have used a cream for many years, the wild yam cream, and when they decoct that, they extract the diosgenin. Now the diosgenin is the active component that when you apply it to the skin, it stimulates the pathway that your body uses to make hormones and causes a boost in progesterone. So basically this cream is reinstating mother hormone. which is progesterone. And we have had so many couples able to have babies. I remember one couple in their mid-30s, they thought they couldn't have children, and the lady'd have many miscarriages, and as I'm sure you realise, it's lack of progesterone that's causing the miscarriages, because progesterone binds the molecules of the fetus to the lining of the uterus. And so boosting that progesterone boosts fertility, it helps the woman protect against miscarriages. In fact, this couple, they weren't eating well, they weren't living well, they weren't drinking right. So they learnt all this at our retreat. And 1 year later, I got a photo of their baby.
Oh, beautiful. I often fantasize about visiting your retreat. Seriously, often. I would like to recommend all Barbara's books and podcasts and just about anything you can get from Barbara. Maybe you are aware, like in Germany, people love homeopathy and traditional medicine. And how do you feel about that? Do you use any of that in your work?
I use a lot of herbal medicine. And I had a guest say to me that he and his wife went to Germany for a holiday, and it was time for him to get his script done for his blood pressure. And he went into the chemist, and the chemist said, well, we don't do that, but we do this. And they opened these double doors, and there were all these drawers of herbs. And so the chemist put together a formulation of different herbs for his blood pressure. That was here in Germany. And he was very excited. So he took his blood pressure herbs and discovered that his blood pressure was able to be managed very nicely with the herbs.
Beautiful. Okay, I know you have to give another talk. So thank you so much for this break. Do you mind another last question?
Not at all.
Okay, so you think that basically regarding this infertility epidemic that we have, so on one side we are paying the price of what former generation did wrong in a way, or former several generation already. It's transgenerational effects. So that's on one side, and all that is speeding up due to blue light and whatever non-native electromagnetic radiation. And is that correct, how I see that? So do you think these are most contributing factors, because we have both female and male now?
We do. There's a whole lot of factors. You see, the 1960s is called the sexual revolution. Women wanted to be able to have sex without having babies, and they took the pill, and they just freely took the pill. In fact, I remember when I was a teenager, every girl I knew was on the pill. No one questioned it. It's time to question. It's time to question.
It's time to question the pill. Time to question hormones. Maybe even try to question IVF. But okay, that's a whole different discussion. But many things need to be questioned.
I believe it is absolutely time to question IVF. I've had women who've been on it for years, and they've come to our retreat, balanced the hormones, remedied their lifestyle, and they fall pregnant. And yet the cost of IVF, not only the cost monetary, but the cost on their body, because there's a huge hormonal imbalance that is created by what they do with IVF. So not only is it the electromagnetic field exposure, not only is it coming down through the genes because our ancestors were on the pill, but it is also the chemical fabrics people are using, the nylon, the polyester.
Oh, you say that in one video. So which are fabrics that young women should avoid? So it was nylon?
Nylon, acrylic and polyester.
So everything made in a lab, basically.
Yes.
And how is this with rayon and modal?
Well, rayon, modal and viscose, they're made from wood pulp.
Okay, I forgot that.
Yeah, and even though the fabric is softened with chemicals, if you wash it and hang it in the sun for the day, that detoxifies it. See, even cotton, you've got to do that with cotton because it's one of the most sprayed crops. So ladies, get away from the chemicals. And if every lady would only insist on buying cotton bras or bras made out of viscose or modal, natural fibres, we would change the industry.
Yeah, okay, so please go buy new underwear. It should be cotton. Do something for your fertility. Thank you so much for talking to me. I will keep fantasizing about coming to your retreat, and I'm sure I'll see you again. Thank you very much.